The King's Queen by Zero Zen, Chapter 2, Levi's Point of View. I held my alpha around my arms. Feeling his warm body against mine was so satisfying after the cold journey. I felt my nerves start to calm down now that I had my alpha near. Is this how all mated pairs felt after what seems like an eternity of separation? Also, what the fuck? Hange and Oren weren't crazy for telling me that I'm the queen and living in this fucking palace. This must be a dream. It had to be. The king cleared his throat, and I backed away to face him properly. Welcome back, he greeted with a straight face. Yeah, thanks. I smiled. I couldn't simply help but rake my eyes over him. Dude, fuck this shit. I got myself hooked up with a hot damn king. Aaron looked uncomfortable with my gaze. Well, Hanji did mention that he was still very shy towards me, which I think is so cute. I couldn't help but tease him a bit, leaning forward and seductively smirking at him. I hope you're hungry for this. I slightly pulled the collar of my robes, revealing the crook of my neck, showing off my scent gland to him. My king! Hanji stood next to me before bowing to the king. My queen has been exhausted from the journey. I shall see that he is taken care of. I felt Hanji's hand laced with mine and pulled me away. Bye-bye, honey. I smirked. Feeling bolder, I blew him a kiss as we entered the castle. Before the door was closed, I saw Aaron freeze like a stone at the entrance, while every servant and guard, including his personal servant John, stared at me, all with their jaws hanging. You did great, Hanji cheered once the door was closed. I did. I think I might have said the wrong pet name. Aaron looked weird at me, I asked, suddenly feeling shy about what I'd done to the king. I never thought I would be so bold, but Hange explained to me doing such things to the king was no longer new. She said that I'm naturally flirty, and that everyone knew that, but the reactions I saw from them felt a little off. Shaking my head, I pushed the thoughts away and distracted myself. My eyes was roaming the interior of the palace. High ceilings, tall windows, white marbled floors, and all the little trinkets that were probably worth a fortune just set on tables. Fucking fuck. Am I really inside the royal castle? This place was oozing with wealth, from the gold trimmings, the curtains on the windows, and even the carpet under my feet cost more than I could have stolen my whole life. Is this really a dream come true? No more stealing? And just lay on the bed of roses while Hanji feeds me grapes? If so, then I'm not letting this go. It'll be nice if Isabel and Fallon were here. Well, it's supposed to be sugar plums, but honey is fine, Hanji chimed. Really? At first a smile. I'll mourn my friend's death later. For now, I'll listen to Hanji. Yes. Well, I looked down at my feet, the silk slippers shining back at me. He didn't look happy seeing me get out of the carriage, I noticed. I didn't miss the blank face he wore before I hugged him. It was like he didn't miss me. But we were married for 2 years and had a kid. Hanji said that we loved each other. But after seeing his reaction before I hugged him, I was starting to doubt it. It's because Aaron's so serious. We can't blame him, though. He's the king. Hanji laughed as she guided me to what I assumed was my room. He must have had a bad day with all the responsibilities on his shoulder, and he tends to hide his feelings, but the truth is he's very happy to see you. Yeah, you're right. I smile. What Hanji said really kept my head out of the clouds. Aside from the king and the riches around me, I wanted to meet someone. Well as Raphael. Oh, the prince might still be in his class, Hanji supplied as we stepped in front of a beautiful tall double doors. Opening it, she let me inside first. I'll bring him to you once his class is all over. Okay. I bit my lower lip, trying my best to conceal my excitement. We had a kid, my own baby. What does he look like? Is he like me, or his father, or both? I can't wait to meet him. Make yourself at home, Hange said, patiently, standing on the side. I stepped inside the room, and I couldn't help but show my amazement. Wow. Never in my life I would see myself sleeping in such a spacious, luxurious bedroom. It had everything, an adjointed big bathroom, huge fancy closets, and a vanity table with all the cosmetics, a cozy fireplace, and even a small sitting area near a tall window. When I spotted the bed, I ran over to it, flipping on top of it. Oh my God, this is heaven, I purred as I curled up on the comfortable bed. The soft sheets were enveloped by the soft scent of Aaron. Is this really real? Feel free to use the bathroom, take a nap, or both. Already some food and tea when you wake up, Hange offered, smiling like an idiot before she left, and closed the door behind her. We did establish that we should call me by my name if we were in private, since I'm still shaken by being called Your Majesty and the stuff. It was just plain weird. Don't mind if I do. I forced myself out of the comfy bed and opened every cabinet to find some fresh clothes. I had found some, but they were not in my size, and they had the scent of the king. Where are my clothes? I asked out loud. In fact, the room smelled like Aaron, even the clothes. Not a hint of my scent was lingering in the room. Maybe because I was away. Shaking the thoughts away, I continued to search and finally found some robes that were for sleeping, I think. Putting it on, I felt ridiculous because it was bigger for me. Lifting the sleeves to my nose, I inhaled a lungful of Aaron's scent. Maybe this is fine. The robe was oversized and smelled like an alpha. A yawn slipped from my mouth, and I decided to just fuck it. We're married, and it's normal to borrow clothes, right? I didn't linger on the topic farther and decided to take off my clothes. Aaron's point of view. Are you okay, Your Majesty? John carefully asked me as he trailed behind me. I don't know. I replied, still in a daze. Everything happened so quickly. My brain had a hard time processing it. My queen, I couldn't explain it. Even all the guards and servants were confused, and we were all too shocked. Thankfully, John addressed me, because I knew that I'd still be frozen in shock until nightfall. Everyone, I cleared my throat. You may resume to your post and duties. With that, all the servants and guards slowly went back to their work, and the gossip started. I hated rumors and gossip. It was more stressful than the sessions held in court, and I decided to return inside. Your Majesty, what was that? John exclaimed. He still couldn't get over the Queen's actions, and honestly, so am I. So is everyone else in this palace, too. John, I started. I don't even know anymore. Our queen must have been cursed by a witch. John, watch your mouth. I don't want another rumor to be spread on this matter. I hissed at him. Oh, forgive me, Your Majesty. He bowed dutifully. I sighed again. I just want to rest a bit in my chambers. It felt like a long day. Yes, Your Majesty. We went to my room without another word. As we walked down the hallways, I could already hear some of the servants gossiping about the Queen's odd behavior. It was enough to ruin my day. John sensed my mood and scolded the servants for their endless chattering. Finally, we reached my chambers. Your Majesty, John said, and opened the door for me and bowed with respect. I expected to see the confines in my room, as it usually was, but right there, in the middle of the room, stood the Queen himself, in the process of taking off his clothes. Oh, was all that slipped from the Omega's pink lips. My body froze in place. But this time, my mind kept running, as well as my eyes. Queen Levi stood with all his glory. The left collar of his robe fell from his shoulder, revealing more skin than expected. Then the door slammed shut in my face. Your Majesty, John begged as he fell to his knees. I have laid my eyes on the Queen, my King's rightful Omega. My life is in your hands. I shook my head in disbelief as I watched John hold out his dagger to me. John, stand up. We both didn't expect that. Thank you, sire. But what is His Majesty Levi doing in your room? John stood up and gestured to my door. I don't know, I shrugged. You should ask him, Your Highness. What? Why me? We should ask Hange. But he's your mate, sire. No, even if we're mated, it's still inappropriate to enter a room while an Omega is changing. Aaron, John said flatly, and I knew that I was fighting a losing battle. John had been by my side before I was contracted as king, and he was my best friend. I hardly treated him as my servant, but he preferred to act like one, even if I asked him not to be so formal all the time. His Majesty Levi is your queen and Omega. You must see to him. John, Aaron, this is your room. John pressed emphasis on the word your. I signed defeat. All right, but I'll wait 5 minutes. The door cracked open and Levi's voice managed to slip through. You can come in now. I stared at John before sighing again and entering the room and closing the door behind me. There I found Levi, the Queen of Sina, sitting on my bed and applying scented lotion on his arms. Once again, I was frozen in place. The scented lotion that Levi picked complements well with his natural scent, forcing my inner instincts out of my control, but pushing my instincts away. I found this lotion on the vanity table. Smells good, right? He smirked at me. What are you doing here in my room? I asked, trying my best to reel in my inner instincts. That smirk on his pink lips will be the death of me. Relaxing after the trip? He raised a brow at me, like I'm the odd one out here. You should go to your room. Levi's point of view. What? I stared at Aaron for a moment, making sure that I heard him correctly. Why? I asked. Panic rose up in me at the thought that I shouldn't be where I am. Because this is not your room? That was not clear to me. What did he mean that this was not my room? We are a mated pair. It's normal to stay in one room. But could it be Aaron was upset with me? Are you mad because we extended an extra week at the hot springs? No, that's not it. I smirked at his adorable reaction. Hange was right. He was very shy. I hummed as I finished applying the lotion, before sliding off the bed and slowly walking towards the king. Aaron seemed to freeze in place, and I personally loved it. It allowed me all opportunities to tease him. I wrapped my arms around his neck and cocked my head to the side, exposing my neck and sank into him. I smirked when I saw how his eyes flashed what was present inside of him. Do you want me, my king? End of chapter 2.